Hi everyone. I'm going to do this small test. I'm gonna cast my screen while I'm working on Codoozer. Okay, so I'm going to build one app. It's going to be like a poker math game or trainer, something like that. Okay, so I'm not sure. This is the first time I cast live on YouTube, so I'm not sure if I'm doing everything properly. I'm using OBS. This is my first time. So yeah, let's try to do it and see what happens. Okay. Well, in case this works and you like this new format, then I will do from time to time. I will keep posting videos live while I'm working, while I'm doing apps on Codoozer. Okay. So yeah, let's see how it works. Okay. Um, Let me check if I can control everything. I'm not sure if there are people watching this video. You can use the chat, I guess. I will be watching the chat sometimes because I have to change from one screen to another. But okay. So, well, basically, today I'm going to work with the random things, how to get random images, things like that. Okay, I will be creating a simple interface that will show some chip on the screen, and every time I press a button, it will change. Okay, so I want to start a new app from scratch. Um, okay, then first I think first you should always change the name of the app. Let's call it Poker Math Trainer or something like that. Okay. Then I will change the Android package name like poker.trainer.math or something like that. Okay. Then I'm going to add some. Okay, can you hold on a moment, please? Okay, sorry for that. Since this is live and we are at home, I will be pausing the video sometimes when somebody at home needs something. Okay, so well, again, I was saying that I'm going to create a new folder and I will upload my counters, my chips. Okay, I have some images I can show you. Let me share my screen. Okay, I think now you can see my whole screen. Okay, so I have these pictures here. Okay, so I'm just going to drag and drop them into Codoozer. Okay, so let's go back and show Codoozer. Okay, so I'm going to click on the last button here on res. And okay, and let me explain this. Since I want to use these images from within a database, I'm going to need to put them in the assets folder. So I need to create the assets folder like this. Just write assets. And then you just need to drag and drop all the icons here. Let me find them. Okay, just drop them here, and now you'll see them here. Okay, now I'll need to create a database. Okay, well, first I'm going to delete these things. Okay, these are the components that we put in the default project, and I could change the colors as well. Okay, I guess I will use like black background and red action bar. Okay, so I'm going to change my main colors. Okay, I'm not sure if you will see. Well, for selecting the colors, I'm going to use material tool, color tool. Let me check if. Well, I'm not sure if you are going to watch this. Maybe I need to. Okay, yeah, I think you are right. Can you see? Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use material tool, and I will select some red color palette. No, I think this should be more aggressive. Like maybe this one. Okay, so this is going to be the primary. Then the primary light. And the primary dark. And the text on primary text. Okay, then I'm going to need well, I'm going to create a custom color. I will call it like main background, something like that. It's going to be, for now, it's going to be black. Well, if you don't know the code for the color, you can just use this number symbol, press enter, and you will see this. So now you can just pick the color. Okay. So now I will create the main content, the main background. Okay, it's going to be in the main view. I'm going to create just a group for the background. I'm going to call it background. Okay, and I will use a background which is going to be solid, and I will use this solid, the main background. Then height is going to be 100% and width 100%. Okay, so now here I have my background, and well, since it's a background, yeah, I could put all the elements here, or I could just create another group and make the first one absolute. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to do that, just in case I want to put pictures or something. So I will put this as absolute. Okay, and that's it. That's my background. So now I'm going to put a group where I will put all the content, like game area, for example. Okay, and here I think, well, first today I'm going to do the basic thing. I just want to put one big chip on the screen and one next button. Okay, so every time I click on the next button, I want to change the color of the chip. Okay, so let's add an image. Well, yeah, I think there's one chip, the chip 0. I don't need that as an asset, okay, because I will take it as a default image. Okay, so, well, I'm going to drag and drop that image here just in the res folder again, because I want this to be, wait, yeah, I want this one to be just the default chip, okay, while it's loading the database or things like that. So let's do this like 30%, put it in the middle, like each align, center, okay. Then let's add some margin on the top, well, or everywhere. I could add margin everywhere, like 64. Okay, now here's my chip. And then since I want this chip to come from a database, I think I'm going to first create the database. Okay, for creating the database, I just need to upload an empty txt file with JSON extension. So let's show you how to do that. Okay. So here I'm going to add, well, I'm not a Mac user, so I'm not sure how to do this. Okay, well, I have this one. Okay, it's not empty, but anyway, I will upload it. Okay, so here's my file, chips.json. Okay, should be empty if it was a new file. Okay, so since it's going to be a database, I'm going to use these brackets. Okay, this will tell the database that I'm going to create an array of entries. Okay, so now for every color. Okay, can you hold on a moment, please? Okay, so now I need to put all the chips here. Okay, you should use this format. Let me check. Okay, every entry should be using curly brackets. Okay, and now I'm going to need some fields. Okay, like the index, and you'll see why. Index, this is the first one. Then let's add some value. I think the first one is 1. And the icon, which is going to be just the name of the file under the asset folder. So chip 0.png. Okay. Yeah, now I just need to copy. Oh, what happened? Ctrl C. Okay, let's change this. Well, the index should be always like increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, and later you will see why I'm using this index. 7, 8, 9. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I should have 9, 10, 11. Okay, this is 12. Okay, now chip first should be chip 1, then chip 5, chip 10, then we have 20, 25, 50, 100, 250, 500, 1000, 2000, and 5000. Okay, and then here I should put the value. Well, the first one is 1, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, This is the boring part. Okay, there's a question from Elvis. Okay, could you repeat how we can do, how you started this? So, well, basically, I just created a txt file, an empty txt file on my computer, okay, but use extension JSON instead of txt, and just drag and drop it here on the rest folder. Okay, this is my file, tips.json, and now click on save. So it was an empty file, and I added these curly brackets. Okay, so this is a JSON object. Okay, so this is every entry of the database. This is a JSON database, by the way. Okay, yeah, I think now I have everything. I can go back to the main view. Okay, and now for source, this image, it's going to, let's call it like chip image. Okay, and I'm going to add a source parameter because I want it to get the image from the database. So to get that, you should put here database dot, then the name of the database, which I haven't created. So let's create a database. Okay, let's come here to the app.json, use databases, let's add one. Okay, I'm going to call it chips, and the source is going to be the name of the file, chips.json. Okay, and you should change this. Instead of CSV, now you don't see the option here, but you should use JSON in this case. Okay, you can also use CSV, but they should be here on the list, but it's not now. Okay, so well, this is how I define my database. Okay, now I can access this database from here. So now I have to put database.chips, the name of the database. Now I should enter which is the index, okay, because in this database I have like 12 entries. Okay, so every time I click on the next button, I want to change the image. Okay, so I want to change the index. So I'm going to have a property called like blind index. Well, the blind, I'm not sure if you know poker, but the blind is like the amount reference, or you know, the chip that is put in the player, the last player on the table. Okay, well, I'm neither a poker expert, but I don't know how to define it. But anyway, so yeah, I need an index, so I will do this dot, and now use parentheses to get a value from a property, for example. So I will use property dot blind index. Okay, well, this is my own name. You can use whatever you want here. So this is blind index, and then I will use the icon field. Okay, so check this. Well, I have my database here, right? So I'm just telling the app that I want to access this database. I use add database at .chips, okay, which is this database. Then I use an index between parentheses. Okay, so with that index, I will tell which entry I want. Okay, and then I'm using dot icon. Okay, so I will get this value, or well, or this one, or this one. Okay, so and how can I pick a random index? Okay, so let's add first the next button. let's add some text. It's going to say next and use the color. Okay, this one. Let's use white, or then H-align center, and size it's going to be like 30%, and then finally text align center. Well, I guess I should use a wrap width and then some padding. Okay, so that in case I change the text, then the button will expand. So padding could be like 24. Then some background color for the button. Where is it? Okay. I think here I could use the primary. Okay, it's going to be red, the same as the action bar. Okay. Well, I should also change the name. Random tip. Let's call this view random tips. Okay. Maybe I should show this in white. I don't know. Let's go to the wrapper and remove the drawer. Okay, I will add the wrapper in the next episode, I guess. But for now, I just want this random tip creator. Okay, and I think I should put some more padding. Instead of having 24 for every direction of the padding, I'm going to customize that. So I will use like 18 for the top, 18 for a bottom, then start. I'm going to use a wider one, like 32 or something, and then at the end I will use also 32. Okay, let me change the. Okay, yeah, now I have this random button. Okay, so what else? Now I need to, well, I should set a default index, okay, because I'm taking the image from property.blindIndex, okay, but the first time it won't have any value, right? So let me put an event, and on preload I will set this what property dot blind index. Let's use like 0, for example. Okay, so yeah, and I should also use some font because I'm using just the regular font. Okay, let me add a font. Let's use Google Fonts, for example. Maybe there's some like poker font or something like that. I'm thinking of a Texas font like the Far West, but I don't know. Maybe something like this, or I don't know. This is always the most difficult part, like how to pick a font. Okay, so well, maybe this one. Maybe too bold, or let's try this one. Okay, download family. Okay, and okay, where is it? Okay, so for using fonts, you just need to drag and drop the. Oh, it's Just need to drag and drop the font to the interface. Okay, and it will be added inside these fonts. And then also the fonts will be created, the fonts entry. Okay, so that's all you need to do to upload a font. So for the button, I'm going to pick that font. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, maybe I should export and see if it works or if I'm missing something. It should take a minute or so. Okay, sometimes it takes 2 minutes. I hope it works. Well, we launched Codoozer like 1 week ago and we're still fixing some things, so it seems something is not going well. Okay, maybe it's because of the name. I don't know. I have the font right. I have everything. I don't know why is this happening. Everything's fine. I don't know what's happening. Let's try again. Maybe with a new name. No. I'm trying to fix it. Okay, because since we're still having some small errors, let's see if I can find. Oh yeah, I think it was I fixed something like 2 hours ago, but I didn't upload it, so yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, well, let's finish the app first and then I will try to fix it. Okay, or no, or I think I should fix it now and then in 10 minutes it will be ready, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I think I know. Sorry, it's going to take me like 10 minutes, something like that, but I need to do it. and so that you don't have problems to do it later. Okay, I think this is it. Now I need to upload it to the server. I'll be back in 1 minute, okay? I'm just uploading to the server and it will be ready in some minutes. But and I hope it works because I did it very fast. Just to go back to the video. Okay. Okay, now I'm back. It should be ready in some minutes. I'm not sure if somebody's watching now, but okay, I'll keep doing it. So I think it takes like 3 minutes to be deployed to the server, but I'm going to try again. Okay. Well, it's not working. I think I guess I need more time to check that I did it correctly. So I guess I'm going to end this broadcasting and then I will fix it. Okay, sorry for that. See you in the next one. I will try it. Well, this was my first try. I didn't succeed, so but at least I learned how to use this OBS tool for broadcasting. Okay, bye.